Welcome to Media Clubroom's Value Train podcast. We're going to wrap up a year of goodness for Elvin Ting of Trifecta Asia. Welcome, Elvin. You've had a very eventful year. I'm just going to wrap it up for the audience watching. You completed the Trifecta Asia Series 2024. 12 major races across 5 countries. So, triathlons internationally, Bintan, Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, right? Singapore, your 7th anniversary in Vietnam. You launched the 2nd edition of the Great Green Run. You know, you really focus a lot on sustainability this year as well. So, in 2024, Elvin, what has been the highlight of your journey?
Well, I'll just start by saying that I think I'm very blessed with the team that support me throughout this ambitious goal to bring different communities together across different countries. We have our local partners in each of the countries working behind the scenes. As you guys know, that organizing an event is not a flick of a finger. It's about all the risks associated with that. We have to care about the weather, we have to care about the people coming, we have to care about the economics behind that. And putting it together in such a short and busy time wasn't easy, and I can never do it without my team. The other part of the key highlight will be the community at large, right? After COVID, I saw a big shift of people coming to be active. Happy that our participants has joined us for 15 years in our Trifecta journey. I mean, they have been following us all these years, and Trifecta become a lifestyle need for their fitness and wellness goals. With our new partnerships, with our new license holder of Trifecta, we decided to focus on kids. We believe a lot of people did not have a chance, especially in developing countries like Vietnam, to take sports ahead of their academics. Bringing sports, giving them a platform to come together with their family is definitely the highlight. So having 500 kids in Vietnam was
500 kids.
One of the highlights. You talk about sustainability. We're still learning through the journey of sports and sustainability coming together. You know, there's a lot more that we can contribute to this. It's not just about not doing and stay still. It's about being mindful of your purchase behaviors.
So, Elvin, you said so much. But if you were to zone in, right, what is like a core memory for you this year?
Well, I think the core memory is about seeing the children crossing the finishing line for the first time. Many of them never had the opportunity to take part in events like that. I remember when some of these kids in the schools finishing this, and the feeling that we gave, the experience that we provided is memorable, and that inspires me to go on. In 2025, we're going to bring on more of these programs, more grassroots focused, community-based, and getting them a chance to excel using sports.
What has been the biggest turnout this year? Because you just go bigger and bigger each year, right? What is the number for this year?
Space is always our constraint, right? Events are sold out. We do the Great Green Run with about 5,000 participants. Wow. We did the Garmin Run. We did the thematic Transformer Run that happened in Sentosa. They all range between about 4,000 to 5,000 kind of participation. We seek new grounds, right? A lot of our races need to go into a bigger land where we attract more people and cater to a bigger crowd. So breaking 10,000 will be the next thing.
Your goal, is it?
Yeah. In our event weekend in October, we had to split 2 events in one venue. Having 2 events back to back on a Saturday and Sunday, we inspire about 10,000 people on the weekend. Right? Not forgetting 20,000 of people that come to Marina Barrage to experience our Green Bazaar and our sustainability stores that we have installed for them over the 2 days.
So do people fly over to Singapore to participate in your races?
Yes, of course.
Wow.
Likewise, we fly over to their country to take part in the races. Running in East Coast Park is beautiful. We have a nice beach and around, but we want a little experience going into the beautiful beaches of Pattaya, for example. Having said that, the opposite actually occurs. In our, I think recently in the Standard Chartered Marathon, there were about 4,800 participants from Indonesia itself that actually flew in. In our races like the Singapore International Triathlon, at our peak, we had about 817 people flying in to do a triathlon race in Singapore. So I think there are definitely an appeal for people to travel, experience, different areas, different race course, and of course, finish off with the experience with food and all the entertainment behind that.
You speak about Trifecta with a lot of pride. So what inspired you? You go all the way back. What inspired you to start Trifecta?
Well, some people call me crazy. I'm wearing the uniform every day, right?
You do. Every time I see Elvin, he's in this exact outfit.
Yeah. I founded Trifecta with my shareholders, and we believe in the mission. We have core 4 values. We talk about progression, about reaching our goals. We talk about sustainability, family values. We wanted to create Trifecta to be the platform to bring different group of community together into an active lifestyle. Swimming, cycling, running, triathlon was the format that we chose back in 2008. It was most accessible. I came from a swimming background myself. I wanted more people to swim. When I start calling my swimming friends to say, hey, why don't you try to run? They said, no, I don't run, I'm a swimmer. And I realized that, there's a serious pathway missing.
A divide, is it?
Yeah, it's a divide, right? People
Yeah, I
swim.
wonder why. Why?
I guess...
Swimmers don't run, runners don't swim. It's a thing.
And they don't cycle. So it was an ideology back in 2009 where we created a Trifecta series.
Yeah.
Right. So you can swim, bike, run, and then finish a triathlon. 4 events in 1 year. It was a struggle, right? I was trying to motivate people to cross discipline and learn. Honestly, myself, I couldn't cycle when I was young. I was spending too much time in the swimming pool. At a point in time, I was embarrassing to learn how to ride a bike. I fall down. After that, I picked myself up. I got motivated and I started to learn how to cycle. And then I finished my first triathlon. And that this is quite cool, right? It gives me a sense of purpose and also gives me a sense of direction of where I want to go. And the beauty of this is I meet different people. I've sponsored a couple of athletes from the Philippines. One of my ambassador, John, became good friends from the Philippines. Now he's working in Saudi. He used to be a janitor. Started training and running. Fast forward a couple of years under coaches and the program. I coached Melvin, a team. He finished with gold medals in SEA Games. That whole journey was inspiring. What drives him forward? And events like Trifecta was one of the platforms for him to move forward. Because you need to keep going, validating, getting the support, getting sponsors to see what you do, getting the governments to shine light on the amazing contribution you have to the sport, and of course flying the country flag at the end of the day, winning medals.
Wow, that's super interesting. I never knew.
I mean, I will take no credit except to provide a platform, the Trifecta platform. The credit comes from himself, being motivated to train. The credit goes to the coach, to the family. There's a lot of sacrifice to go behind an athlete. It's not just a flick of a feather. Even though you have the talent, you need to put in the work. You need to prioritize your time, and of course, delivering your goals as we go along. Right? So the entire ecosystem that John had at that point of time was to really get out there and prove that he's something worthy. On the flip side, we do have many people that goes through, I would say, a life-changing moment, and they wanted to get fit again, to lose weight, or to find a new community. And we see lots of different communities coming together. And you know what? That inspires me to build Trifecta even further. And really, one of our values is being inclusive. We support the Special Olympics a lot, and they come with a guide to complete a run, right? It's really giving them the platform so that they can continue to pursue their fitness goals. But more importantly, it gives them a sense of purpose to carry on living well.
When you first started Trifecta, did you think it would be this now?
I took the unconventional route, right? Leaving a very high-paying corporate job in the 30s, when we were starting our life. When I look back, I never regret it. My purpose in life is really to create an impact and influence people. And I think Trifecta could be the platform for me to channel my energy to help more people.
When you speak about, the legacy that you're going to leave behind, right? First, we're going to dive deeper. I mean, when I see you, you just keep going and go. You never rest. You just told me just now. You never ever, there's no break for you. You're always in this country, in that country, right? So on Trifecta, I know it's very fulfilling, but it can be very challenging, right? So can you tell us, to inspire more leaders who want to be like you, listening in, can you tell us some challenges you've encountered, the most difficult ones?
Some of my mentors always tell me, when you're doing something good, the opportunities are always there for you. I think some of the challenges that I face is about saying no. We get caught in a very fine line between business and social. I remember there was a licensed partner that came and said that, I'm paying you a license to do Trifecta in my country, but we're going to be losing money. Then my first question is like, why do you do it? And saying no to a lot of deals that we say is going to be very challenging. Because there's always a trade-off. Resources are always finite. You don't have unlimited time. It's about making sure that we keep it balanced at all time. As an entrepreneur, you need to bring people to actually realize certain things. The challenge will be clear on your ambition, be clear to communicate it clearly to the people that support you, and then constantly calibrate. Because everybody's ambition might be different. Everybody's understanding of your vision might be different.
Wow. A lot to take in, huh?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
lot.
yes.
So, like, for you, right? Okay, a little bit of a more cheeky question. You know, you organize such huge events. You know, I organize events, not easy, right? You do it like 5,000 participants, 10,000 participants, regionally across borders. What is like one specific failure you've had that turned into something good?
Well, what doesn't kill you make you stronger. The School of Hard Knocks is about when we first started to venture out Trifecta from a Singapore structure, we were organized, we were clear on what we have, we knew how to do a triathlon event, for sure, we've done it for many, many years. And then when we started to go into a new country, we started to operate it in the same way like how a Singapore company would do, right? So this is how you do it, this is how the processes, get this done.
The SOP.
The SOPs, we embed our beliefs and our ways of working into locally. That fell on us. Commercially, it fell apart. Mentally, it fell apart because we start to manage because the guys are trying to adapt to your new model and new style of operating. I'll give you an example. There are a couple of different license holders. Some license holder of Trifecta are very strong operationally. They have been doing triathlons and events for all their life, and they definitely know how to close the roads. It's very, very safe, and it's a great experience. But I think commercially, they might need some help. How do I get more sponsors to come? How do I get more coverage on social media? How do I do this? How do I get international people to take part? And on the other side of the spectrum, I have a very strong marketing commercial partner with lots of sponsors, lots of brands they've been doing for, and they don't know how to organize a triathlon. Number one, we support them technically to set up the SOP and the structure and the team. We train the team. We cooperate with them, means we bring our team look into the market to execute the event. We train them, we transfer knowledge. Without that failure, I will be imposing, you got to do A to Z, right? And now the whole mindset has shifted, right? It's about what can I do for you?
Has there ever been a moment you're like, I can't do it anymore? Why did I start this? Has there ever been a moment like that?
Coming from an athlete, I always put myself very focused on my goal, at my target, and I want to hit there. We have definitely a lot of setbacks in team where people starts casting their disbelief in where we are, right? So for me, COVID was definitely the second time, right? It was not the first time, but the second time it just tell me, should I just carry on and go back to the corporate world, do what I'm good at as a professional? And I look back and say, oh, this is the team that followed me. I look back at my support system, this is my family that's been following me. And I look forward, and this is the community that I've built and the fans that I have acquired over the last, I would say from COVID, it was about 11 years. It took me many, many runs. When I freed my mind, I went out running, and I just want to make sure that I understand and I make the right decision. We took a punt, right? I did a survey and said that, you know what, structure a loan, we took out some financial debt, carry on the business, and continue to push further and further. Thankful for that decision. I won't say it's the best decision that I've made, but the learnings that I've acquired, the friendship that I've built, the knowledge that I've gained definitely tell me that I'm living my purpose to create an impact and influence the people that we have around me. Yeah.
You know, Elvin, you talk a lot about, your family, the community you're serving, the team that's supporting you. You got any time for yourself or not? Because all this takes time. Community building takes time. Then you have to give back to your family. You have to give back to your team. Have you ever had a moment you're like, I just want to be alone?
Yeah, in 365 days, I commit to 364 days to the people around. I align my purpose, which is me, to what I do. That decision was made when I left the corporate world. A little deep, right? About realizing what I am, who I should be, what skills I have, how can I deliver and create an impact to the people around me. That was realized through many, many rounds of mentorship. And by doing Trifecta, it's actually doing something for me, right? I'm building something that is very, very in line with my purpose.
It's true,
On the other side of it, giving back to myself will be the health side, right? So we ensure that I'm still healthy, I'm still fit, I'm still clear. I did a challenge last year where we had an attempt with ultra marathon for busy people, but we are very strong alpha with a very clear ambition. 4 months training to do a 60 kilometers. I didn't manage to finish it. I was trained. I was very focused. I sacrificed sleep. About 1.5 hours before the day starts, start running at 4 a.m. in the morning. As I clearly stated in the start, I set a goal for myself. I like to finish it. I set a goal to build Trifecta as a platform, and I hope to finish it.
Just now you spoke about mentorship. How important is mentorship to you?
Mentorship is absolutely important. I think when you are so deep in the space, I think it's important to get different perspective. It's very comfortable at the start to open up because it reviews weaknesses. But through mentorship with someone you can trust, I think it's about sharing your challenges. It's about understanding and recalibrating where you are today and continue to focus your energy on getting to the next stage. Life's a journey, right? You continue to learn and continue to adapt to the different environments and the different things that you see in the market today. In fact, I'm pursuing and hopefully using some of this technology to improve and build into our Trifecta platform.
Wow. So Trifecta is really going into the next stage, right? In 2025. What about you, Elvin? When people think about Elvin Ting, what you want them to remember the most?
Yeah, I was having this conversation. Is it Elvin? Is it Trifecta? Elvin is not Trifecta. Elvin founded Trifecta. Elvin is a person that can bring people together. Elvin is a person that can inspire people to do something and hopefully deliver their purpose in life and be the best they can be.
Wow. So if just one thing that people remember you by, what would it be? You have to choose one. Because that really zones in on who you want to be, right?
Yeah,
what you want to leave behind.
I guess to be a change maker in their lives. Living your life to the fullest in the way you want. Hope that I can inspire that change for you. I'm not some inspirational speaker to do that. I do it through action. I deliver, I try to structure it so that people can experience it themselves and realize that this is something that they want to pursue, and then they focus their energy in that for them.
I love it. Okay, since we're winding down, what's your favorite story so far out of Trifecta?
Wow. Favorite story. I remember one of the Trifecta events where, we used to give those medals at the end, right? So when you finish, you get a finisher medal and recognize your performance. And then we did a survey with one of our events we did in the Philippines in this place called Kamsa. We tied with the local province, so there were people who were struggling to get even proper footwear. So we said, instead of getting a finisher medal, do you mind changing it to a slippers? So we got the finishers who finished the Trifecta event. They did a triathlon. They took their slippers and they actually handed over to the kids at the finishing line. And we have kids lining up. We have people giving them slippers. They were all surrounding and they were thankful. It gives me a sense of purpose that, you know what? I have many medals at home, right? And this pair of slippers that I've handed over changed the lives of this young individual. And who knows? He may be the next champion in sports.
Wow, I never knew. So when people think about fitness and sports, they don't think about that part, right? They will usually think about themselves, like, if I'm fit, I can do it. I can train to do it. But they don't think about, there's a little kid somewhere who, that's all they want, a pair of slippers to win from running.
Yes, exactly. So it was the pictures that we took, the social impact that we have created in that little town that we have done our Trifecta events. But aside from the experience that we give, we left a social impact into the society. And now with the sustainability focus of Trifecta, the sustainable impact that we want Trifecta to deliver and leave behind is going to keep us going for many, many years to come.
Wow. Yeah. I think that's very inspiring. You've been inspiring me ever since, my friend and his accident. I know you're always very humble.
No.
Yeah, so he was like, guys, since we're going to snowboard together, we should all do the triathlon together. I'm like, I will die. I will literally die. And wow, it was amazing,
No, you start with a relay, right? We have an inclusive thing. I'm sure you run for a bus, right? Or you go for a run for a train.
Running for a bus. How many km was that in 2022?
There are 1 kilometer runs, 5 kilometer.
He did the shorter one.
The whole triathlon, right? So 200 meter swim, 6 kilometer run, a bike cycle, and then a 2 kilometer run. So it's 4 laps around the pool, right? 6 kilometers. You can go to the supermarket. You can cycle to the supermarket. You can practice there. You run for a bus, right? 2 kilometers. So no big deal.
No big deal?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, as you wrap up the podcast, I know you're always very humble. You say you're not a motivational speaker, but I am inspired just talking to you. So what is one piece of advice you would, give to, someone who might want to start something like you?
Set the goals, right? Be clear. You can only deliver your goals with the right community support. Most of us set unrealistic goals because we are unclear of our community support behind us. Family, friends, colleagues, the clubs itself, coaches. Even your company, your corporate, your bosses are all part of your support system. Commit and you will get there. if you don't like what you're doing in the business and it's pure driven by commercial gains, I think you lose motivation at some point. It's not going to be a straight line in all businesses because you can't just win all the time, right? There will be competition, there will be external environment, that people's gonna be, there'll be internal problems, external problems. So if you don't like what you're doing and it's not aligned with your business, you're gonna lose motivation at some point and then you're gonna give up. And my advice to that is if you keep this very close to your purpose in life, that will take you to the destination.
Wow, so purpose is really tagged to everything you do in life, including what gives you money, what drives you, right?
The corporate life give me more money, right? I would say, but the purpose drives me and I drive my purpose forward. Yeah.
So, a lot of people think about what their purpose is all their life. Do you think you're lucky to have found that early on in life? What is that click, that moment you're like, I don't want this anymore?
It took me 4 years. At the leadership team in corporate, we were forced to write down what's our purpose and how we inspire our team, right? So when I look back and it starts changing every year, it's like, it's not right. I just want to maybe be seen doing this purpose. But that click came where, when I start looking at what kind of impact I've delivered in the past and what really motivates me and fulfills me at the end of the year when we do New Year resolutions, then it's like, guys, I need to use my skills, my level of influence, and my ability to bring communities together to do more. To describe pictorially, my purpose was a picture of me and there were like thousands of people about trying to tell them that this is how you're going to move. And I saw this is not religious or what, it's nothing religious, but it's about, telling them that, you can do it. Everyone should be able to uncover what they are capable of and everyone should take that step, whatever situation in your life, to live your purpose, because you don't want to be regretting at the end of your life that, I should have done this, I should have done that.
Wow, thanks so much, Elvin. That was really inspiring. And I have something to take away from this podcast. I started out interviewing you, finding out your purpose. Now I'm going to find out my purpose. So thank you so much, Elvin, for this.
Thanks,
so
Don.
much.
All right, take care.